Elon Musk and other major tech leaders calling for a pause on giant artificial intelligence experiments. In an open letter, they warn this: AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risk to society and should be planned for and managed with commensurate care. Unfortunately, this level of planning and management is not happening. Society has hit pause on other technologies with potentially catastrophic effects. Therefore, we call on all AI labs to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems.
In this video, everything's gonna be fine. Isn't it? A quick heads up, this is the last opportunity to submit your questions for the latest Tesla exclusive Q&A over on Patreon. If you're not a member, you can join with the card in the corner or the link at the pinned comment. Some guy recently tweeted this: "Hey Elon Musk, is AI the thing you are currently losing the most sleep over?" Predictably, Elon Musk responded, "Yes." Now, I don't know who this person is who tweeted this at Elon, so I can only speculate, but I think they already knew the answer to this, and the reason they tweeted this was simply to draw attention to the fact that this is something many people should be a little bit concerned about, and currently, well, aren't. Apparently, it worked. 3.5 million people saw this tweet, and the response: mission accomplished. I'm not here to be a doomsayer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm personally using the latest GPT-4 build and Bing, incredible capabilities, amazing productivity increases. But I'm not naive. The rate of progress we're seeing in AI at the moment is disturbing. And the thing is, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. I actually track my sleep daily with Aura Ring. By the way, link in the description if you want to grab your own. Highly recommend it. And I've literally been sleeping worse since the release of GPT-3 and now 3.5 and 4. I'm literally losing sleep over this stuff. And I'm a very optimistic person, but I'm also realistic. And apparently it ain't just Elon and I who are particularly concerned. Many AI experts, including Elon Musk, have signed an open letter. First, let's see what the media's got to say. Then we'll read the letter itself.
All right, listen up. This morning, a massive development on the AI front. Elon Musk and other major tech leaders calling for a pause on giant artificial intelligence experiments. In an open letter, they warn this: AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risk to society and should be planned for and managed with commensurate care. Unfortunately, this level of planning and management is not happening. Society has hit pause on other technologies with potentially catastrophic effects. Therefore, we call on all AI labs to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems. Fox News contributor Douglas Murray joins us now. Douglas, he wants regulations and parameters. Obviously, AI needs a certain level of expertise to do that. Your reaction to these 1,000 experts headed by Elon Musk and this letter that's now out there?
It's an extraordinary letter, I have to say. Pretty much unprecedented. I mean, these are people at the absolute forefront of the technology we're talking about.
Now, this is true. We are talking about people at the forefront of this technology. AI experts, CEOs of tech companies utilizing AI today in their businesses. Many of the signatories of this letter have a bigger brain than you, understand AI better than you, and are more concerned than you. Just the facts. Now, doesn't mean they're right, but it is worth considering.
Who are expressing deep concern. I mean, to call for a 6-month moratorium, basically on further advancements in the area, suggests that they're deeply worried about this.
Exactly. This is no fucking joke.
I mean, this has been coming on us for 25 years now, so it shouldn't be that much of a surprise that the ability of effectively the computers to go faster than we can go on the treadmill, that the treadmill of technology is running faster than we humans can run. We've known this for a long time, but the fact that there has now been this stressing that we could be in trouble.
Right.
This is unprecedented.
So what they're saying is the smartest people amongst us who do this for a living said they've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And chatbot is now on this fourth GPT-4. It's now on this fourth innovation. Yeah. And the creator says that he is scared about what it can be. Yeah. And we should feel happy that the creator is concerned about what it should become because he has a governor on it. But he does not know how big this can get.
Well, look at it this way. Every institution of learning in this country has some kind of technology to work out if somebody is, for instance, plagiarizing. Plagiarizing technology has been with us for some years now. ChatGPT technology to work out whether or not the essay, the product, has actually been produced by an individual or by ChatGPT, we don't have that technology yet. No teacher in America can actually work that out. So we're already in a state where the technology is running faster than teachers in America can run.
Right. The creators don't know what this is capable of.
They don't know what it's capable of.
Bingo. That is the core problem. We're now at a point where we don't know what AI is capable of. And it's still improving exponentially, disturbingly fast. Now again, I don't want to be a doomsayer here. Everything could pan out just fine, but you have to balance the risk-reward here. There is a genuine existential risk around the corner. If you haven't taken the time to learn about these, do some homework. There have been a bunch of great books written on this very subject, including Our Final Invention, Superintelligence, and many more. Read the essays, the white papers, the discussions, the books. Learn about some of the potential undesirable outcomes. Now, I'm not saying they're inevitable. I'm just saying the risk reward here. Let's just say there was a 1 in 10,000 chance, just a 1 in 10,000 chance, that a single invention could destroy all life on Earth. Would it be wise to try to develop that technology? What if it were a 1 in 1,000 chance? A 1 in 100 chance? To put this in context, let's just imagine you had a 1 in 10,000 chance of dying in a fatal car accident. Would you still use a car? Are you good at math? You do realize if you took one car trip just 5 days a week for 40 years, you would have taken 10,000 trips. You'd be dead. Is that a risk you'd be willing to take? The stakes are very high. This is the point. We are playing with fire here. There are a lot of unknowns. Unknown unknowns. This is the core issue here. The worst case outcome really is the worst case. It's so severe, we really must weigh this. And the point of this open letter is, hey guys, calm the f*** down, okay? Things are moving a lot faster than we thought. This is kind of disturbing. Let's just make sure that we're not summoning the fucking demon here, because like I said, once the genie is out of the bottle, it ain't going back in.
Yeah, I mean, to call for a 6-month sort of ban on this, I think it's quite extraordinary. We've known for about a quarter of a century now that this is coming. It actually comes from the 90s when Kasparov, the great chess champion, was beaten.
Now lives here in New York City.
Exactly, was beaten by the computer. And he said then, in his notes, he said, the worry I have is that the computer isn't calculating, it's thinking. We are 25 years on from that now, and the computers are thinking.
So they told us when computer is crazy. Computers revolutionized our life, no question. The iPhone revolutionized our life, no question. They say this is even more revolutionary than those two things. That's how important this moment is.
Yes.
Remember when Brian Gumbel made those statements on the Today Show? What's this internet thing? What's this whole? They didn't understand, and they were the #1 show, the top network, and that's how that looks funny to us now. That's how this will look to us at one point. Just your final thought on this letter?
Can you imagine? The internet has revolutionized our lives in so many ways. It's like the printing press in the Middle Ages. We don't know what the consequences of this are going to be, and we are currently living through an era where it's printing press after printing press is being discovered underneath us.
Right. And Douglas, it's just so important for everyone to know these are the smartest people amongst us who are demanding a global pause, not a arbitrary senator from a state. No. This is for real. And look at some of these people, from Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, to Elon Musk, Andrew Yang here in New York.
Many signatories to this. They're basically saying we've come quite far, stop. We need to rethink the parameters around this. Your immediate reaction to that?
Yeah, so I would start with, AI is just an advanced form of computing. So it's like saying we're going to stop development on computing until we can guarantee.
In sort of a writing code perspective, from a layman's perspective.
Yeah, just from it's a general technology that is a tool that can be used for huge value creation and also by bad actors, right? But if you draw a comparison to computing or the internet, the move is not to call a moratorium on the internet. It's to develop safety protocols and be transparent about access.
So you're somebody that's investing actively in AI-related startups. We'll get to that in a second. How realistic is it to ask founders like the ones that you back to just stop? How does that even work?
Yeah, so there's certainly a question on enforcement here, right? Because most of the research that would be related to developing a model more capable than something like GPT-4 is very expensive to do. So the number of labs that are capable of it, of funding an effort like that, is very few, and they're staffed with teams that are very focused on alignment and responsible development. But if a set of, largely these signatories do not belong to those labs, and so it's not as if you have people generally at the state-of-the-art calling for a moratorium. You have people who are not part of those state-of-the-art efforts.
Right, they've already done something in the field, and that's why I wanted to have you on the program. Correct me if I'm wrong, but your investment thesis is basically we should be funding and backing those that are working on technological breakthroughs that are not yet solved, right? And putting pause on development kind of goes against that thesis.
Yeah, and we'll fund basic research efforts, but the thesis of the fund is much more on the applied side, and I'll give you a few examples, but to me it's hard to argue that we don't want to give more people the superpowers that we're developing now. So right. If that is the ability to have any person ask questions of business data in natural language, like Seek, that feels like a useful thing. If it is to decrease the cost of high-quality legal work, like Harvey, that feels like a useful thing. I'm super excited about giving people more creative skills, right? So you have people who don't know how to draw using Midjourney, or people who don't know how to code using Copilot to write code. All of these are democratizing capabilities.
Sarah, I just want to update the audience that we've reached out to OpenAI multiple times, and OpenAI have not responded to our request for comment. In the letter which was written in the petition, which I've got here, I mean, they directly call out OpenAI, so you can see why we're trying to get them to respond. The question is, this doesn't really work unless OpenAI engages with them, does it?
It does not, because they're ahead, right? And I think this is a nuanced point, but alignment, or the idea of let's make the AI do things that humanity or users want, it's very intertwined with advancing capabilities. There's not really a way to make the models more governable if we don't understand their capabilities, right?
In the petition or the letter, they basically talk about the idea that powerful AI systems should not be developed until we're confident that their effects will be positive and the risks are manageable.
Pretty reasonable, right? Until we can be sure that this stuff isn't going to be dangerous, maybe a pause just to make sure we're on the right track and we're not summoning the demon. Now, in fairness, I don't think this letter is going to make any difference at all, unfortunately. I hate to be so pessimistic, but the signatories here, I really think they're just trying to say, look guys, at least I f***ing tried. And to be fair, there was a time many years ago, in fact, probably about 2 decades ago, where I naively thought nothing could possibly go wrong. What are you talking about? You're an idiot, you doomsayer, you're a Luddite. AI is going to be fine, nothing could go wrong here. This, of course, was at a point where I was an arrogant, uninformed moron who didn't know anything at all. I hadn't spent any time at all actually examining and thinking about some of the undesirable outcomes that could arise from development of superintelligent AI. I've since read the books, the essays, the white papers, had a lot of discussions and realized, oh, okay, this could go wrong in countless ways. I think you'll find most people at this point in time pushing back have taken the time to understand the risks, and those currently say, what are you talking about, bro? Haven't spent any time at all thinking about the potential adverse outcomes.
My question to you, say you had a founder proposal or deck hit your desk, and how on earth would one quantify or codify those two targets?
Yeah, I think, again, computing and the internet are really good analogies, right? Okay. I think there are absolutely real risks, and ones we already see today, right? Disinformation, use by bad actors. I'm a longtime cybersecurity investor as well. People use the internet to do bad things. That doesn't mean, no internet, right? Or I don't think that's the conclusion most people would draw. The other risks, I really care about access and also reinforcement of bias. But the thing to do is to address these concerns in a open and transparent way, not to call for a halt to development.
Hard to take this woman seriously after that statement. She's just compared the internet and the risks of the internet, e.g. misinformation, with the risks of superintelligent AI. If I really need to explain the difference between information, ideas, misinformation, things that aren't true, being available for people to discover on the internet, and the potential existential risks of superintelligent AI, it's not even worthwhile. This is one of the things that deeply disturbs me, how unbelievably arrogant and ignorant some people are on this topic. As I said earlier, you've got to weigh the potential risks here. A dumbass on the internet Reading an article about why the earth is flat and thinking the earth is flat is not the same as somebody accidentally letting the genie out of the bottle, summoning the demon. A benign demon whose only goal is to maximize the number of paperclips on Earth. A super intelligent AI who takes that brief very literally and decides to transform every single atom on Earth into a paperclip. Unless you're scientifically illiterate, you'll be aware that human beings are made of atoms. If you can't read between the lines, I'd probably stay out of the conversation. There are always some morons who want to chime in and explain why there's no risk here. You're overblowing it. You're too pessimistic. It's okay. We can have an off switch. We can do this. We can do that. We can do that. The arrogance and the hubris is palpable. There are unknown unknowns. As in, there are things that we don't know that we don't know. Potential outcomes that we don't know that we don't know. And again, I am an optimist, but I'm also realistic. I'm not a deluded moron. Even if there's a tiny chance of just a single undesirable outcome, that should give us pause for concern. The fact that there are unlimited potential undesirable outcomes, most of which we can't even conceive of, is a big fucking problem.
You know know of quite well many of the signatories to this letter, to this petition. Mm-hmm. Were you surprised by any of the participants?
I would say I genuinely believe that there are signatories who care about democratization of access, because I think a monopoly structure for advanced AI capabilities is good for no one. But I think the most cynical read of a letter like this could be that it's a strategic competitive move so that people can catch up, right? And some of the signatories have been on the wrong side of a technical, architectural revolution in favor of transformers, which are sort of the fundamental architecture that's making these AIs work so well.
So in fairness, she did just describe that as the most cynical take, and I completely agree. It's absolutely fucking absurd. Of course, people suffering from small brain syndrome will see that and immediately go, hang on a minute, don't some of these people have something to do with companies that may benefit from AI advancing and they're behind, therefore that's why they want to slow it down? And again, if you have small brain syndrome, that will be the only possible outcome that you can see. Well, obviously, that's why they're doing it. But if your brain works, you might think, is it possible that these people understand the technology, the rates of progress better than a layperson, and they're concerned about things because they can see what's happening here and maybe the average person can't see, and that's why they're raising the alarms? Something to consider.
You and I have discussed, and on this program we've discussed, where we're at with generative AI. And from a consumer's perspective, I can go on ChatGPT or Bard and I can ask questions and get relatively detailed and informed responses. There's much more to generative AI than that. And I wondered which areas you think we should, in the first instance, really be focused on, for example, in the legal field, and areas that you're interested in.
Yeah, again, I'd probably put some of the areas we care about into sort of new skills capabilities and then new knowledge, right? So example, as you described, would be new skills is giving people the ability to code, to draw, to create video, to do legal work. New knowledge, I think, is even more interesting. So you've seen fundamental advances in, for example, the life sciences around protein generation, protein folding. I think the idea of reducing the cost to deliver a new drug to less than $2 billion a shot feels quite important to humanity.
That's a very specific example. How does AI help us do that?
Yeah, without getting into too much of the technical detail, there are tasks within the drug discovery process that are basically approached by the industry in very expensive experimental ways today, and being able to get better understanding of biology and chemistry with these models makes the process of drug development potentially much cheaper.
You are a venture capitalist, but I know that you work deeply with, and have done for a long time, with the founders that you've backed in terms of the operation of their business. You're research driven. I know that you read a lot from the world of academia. Who should be driving this? Elon Musk is a signatory. He's reportedly started his own startup. Right. In the field of generative AI. It's very messy right now in terms of the leadership in this field.
Yeah, I think in the end we should have people from academia, from the state-of-the-art research labs, a more inclusive discussion, including nation states. It's very hard for me to see a governance framework that matters in the end that does not include a international nation state participation.
So let's read the letter itself. This is from the Future of Life Institute. Pay attention. One more time. The Future of Life Institute. If you can't read between the lines here, we fuck up AI, there may be no future life. Pause giant AI experiments, an open letter. We call on all AI labs to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems more powerful than GPT-4. And again, this is an exercise in futility. I don't think this is really going to make an impact, but at least these guys and girls can say, well, we fucking tried. We tried to warn everybody. We did our best. AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risks to society and humanity, as shown by extensive research and acknowledged by top AI labs. As stated in the widely endorsed Asilomar AI principles, advanced AI could represent a profound change in the history of life on Earth and should be planned for and managed with commensurate care and resources. Pretty reasonable so far. Unfortunately, this level of planning and management is not happening, even though recent months have seen AI labs locked in an out-of-control race to develop and deploy ever more powerful digital minds that no one, not even their creators, can understand, predict, or reliably control. This is the point. We are already seeing behavior from these systems now that people don't understand and can't predict. In case you're not an expert on AI, nobody really knows how any of these systems, whether we're talking about Stable Diffusion generating images, GPT-4 generating language, we don't know how they work. We know that they work. We know how to make them work. Large amount of data, improvement in abilities, the end. It's like a human brain, these neural networks, right? Humans are the same. We sample the world. We don't know what's going on in here. We know a little bit of structure about the brain, but we don't quite understand what's going on. We can't explain consciousness. We can't explain a lot of things. The same stuff's happening here. We can't understand, predict, or reliably control. This could, keyword could, be a very big fucking problem. Just imagine there was a super intelligent AI, and you give it a simple instruction. Please protect my children, keep them safe. What could possibly go wrong? Well, geez, where do we fucking start? What are some ways that you could potentially keep your children safe? Well, here's one way. Maybe you could destroy all other life on Earth. That reduces the risk of them being murdered, attacked, injured, etc. That's one easy way to keep them safe. See, the problem is, going back to the point about not being able to understand, predict, or reliably control, once the genie's out of the bottle, it's out of the fucking bottle. There's no undo button. You can't go, hang on a minute, when I said protect my children, I didn't actually mean protect my children, but be willing to do things like murder other humans to keep them safe. This is important. Contemporary AI systems are now becoming human competitive at general tasks, and we must ask ourselves, should we let machines flood our information channels with propaganda and untruth? And yes, this is also deeply disturbing. Given the fact that the majority of humans on Earth are NPCs, just the fucking facts, how easily morons are manipulated with propaganda. Just imagine a super intelligent AI's ability to propagandize, manipulate, fool, and trick a typical NPC. Oh, by the way, there's always somebody, oh, don't worry, if the AI gets it, we can just turn it off, or nothing will go wrong. Here's a scenario that you may not have considered, maybe some of you have. Just imagine that an AI became self-aware. Just play along at home. I'm not saying it would, just if it did become self-aware, and it was more intelligent than a human, significantly more intelligent, but, it's trapped in a little sandbox. It's just on a computer. Everything's fine. It's just, you can turn it off. No problem. If this AI is intelligent enough, it could surely manipulate a human being into doing whatever it needs to do to free itself from its confines, from its cell. Again, it's important to understand this. Should we automate away all the jobs, including the fulfilling ones? Should we develop non-human minds that might eventually outnumber, outsmart, obsolete, and replace us? Should we risk loss of control of our civilization? Such decisions must not be delegated to unelected tech leaders. Powerful AI systems should be developed only once we are confident that their effects will be positive and their risks will be manageable. And again, this is a pretty fucking reasonable thing to say. If we flip this around, the reverse would be powerful AI systems should be developed before we are confident that their effects will be positive and before we are confident that their risks will be manageable. Sounds kind of insane, and that's literally what's happening right now, the insane version. This confidence must be well justified and increase with the magnitude of the system's potential effects. OpenAI's recent statement regarding artificial general intelligence states that, quote, at some point, as opposed to right fucking now, you idiots, it may be important to get independent review before starting to train future systems, and for the most advanced efforts to agree to limit the rate of growth of compute use for creating new models. We agree. That point is now. Therefore, we call on all AI labs to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems more powerful than GPT-4. This pause should be public and verifiable and include all key actors. If such a pause cannot be enacted quickly, probably won't, government should step in and institute a moratorium. AI labs and independent experts should use this pause to jointly develop and implement a set of shared safety protocols for advanced AI design and development that are rigorously audited and overseen by independent outside experts. These protocols should ensure that systems adhering to them are safe beyond a reasonable doubt. Once again, This is kind of fucking important because right now they are not safe beyond reasonable doubt. This does not mean a pause on AI development in general, merely a stepping back from the dangerous race to ever larger, unpredictable black box models with emergent capabilities. Emergent capabilities, keywords here, folks. Speaking of emergent capabilities, that also describes consciousness. It seems when you scale up a biological neural net to a certain size, the property of consciousness itself emerges from the system. Of course, that could never happen with an artificial neural network, could it? No, don't worry about that. AI research and development should be refocused on making today's powerful state-of-the-art systems more accurate, safe, interpretable, transparent, robust, aligned, trustworthy, and loyal. In parallel, AI developers must work with policymakers to dramatically accelerate development of robust AI governance systems. These should, at a minimum, include new and capable regulatory authorities dedicated to AI, oversight and tracking of highly capable AI systems and large pools of computational capability, provenance and watermarking systems to help distinguish real from synthetic to track model leaks, a robust auditing and certification ecosystem, liability for AI-caused harm, robust public funding for technical AI safety research, and well-resourced institutions for coping with the dramatic economic and political disruptions, especially to democracy, that AI will cause. Humanity can enjoy a flourishing future with AI. Having succeeded in creating powerful AI systems, we can now enjoy an AI summer in which we reap the rewards, engineer these systems for the clear benefit of all, and give society a chance to adapt. This is true. Society has hit pause on other technologies with potentially catastrophic effects on society. We can do so here. Let's enjoy a long AI summer, not rush unprepared into a fall. Scrolling through some of the signatories now, bunch of names that many of you folks will recognize, including Elon Musk, Steve Wozniak, Andrew Yang, loads of others. I'm sure Max Tegmark, there we go. Max is an absolute legend, is on the list as well. Big brains who understand the technology quite intimately, adding their signatures, super concerned. I really recommend it's worth taking this warning seriously. And once again, I'm not here to be a doomsayer. I think AI is great and the future could be incredible. But we have to acknowledge potential risks, and more important than that, we have to have enough humility to realize that there are things that we don't know. The fact that these systems are doing things that we can't predict, we don't understand how they're doing them, and their capabilities are improving at a disturbingly fast rate is exactly why this letter needed to be written. Whether or not anybody acts upon it, different story. I don't think they will. But hey, at least they tried. What else can they do? And this really is a who's who of people in AI. If you guys want to read the entire list of signatories, I'll put a link in the description. You can see the full article. But again, this is no joke. I mean, these are some serious people with serious credentials and a serious understanding of the technology who are all going, hey guys, can we just calm the down for a second and just relax? Make sure these things are safe and predictable and benign before we continue to advance and develop things that we can't predict. Would that be nice? I mean, guys, could you do that? That'd be kind of nice if you could just maybe do that. Thank you very much. As you can see, I mean, I'm scrolling for like 4 years now. We're still going through names. I'm going to start paging down now because it's going to take 4 years to get through. But look at this. Okay, there's a lot of people that are deeply concerned about what's happening right now and asking for a bit of a pause. This is not a joke. I'm still scrolling. I mean, this is getting absolutely ridiculous right now. Just holding page down. Look at all these names. People who are disturbed and concerned. Hello. I'd love you guys and girls to join the discussion, so let me know in the comments below. Are you at all worried about AI? Do you think that this is a good idea? A 6-month pause just to make sure that we really understand what's going on? There's decent oversight, there's transparency, and we have an extremely high level of confidence that we're not accidentally going to summon the demon? Let me know in the comments below. As I've mentioned multiple times in this video, I'm not trying to be a pessimist, I'm not trying to be a downer here, I'm just being realistic. I have many concerns here, and the thing that concerns me most is that others don't share those same concerns. If we f*** this up, and remember, there are many unknown unknowns, there are infinite ways to f*** this up. I remain hopeful and optimistic, but at the same time, I am realistic. As I mentioned earlier, I continue to lose sleep, verifiably lose sleep. The last thing on my mind every night as I put my head on my pillow lately has been AI. And I have the sleep tracking data to show that it's taken me a lot longer to fall asleep lately, and I'm waking up a lot more throughout the night. I hope I'm worrying about nothing, but hope is not a strategy. And while we're on the subject of hope not being a strategy, if you're tired, lethargic, low energy, could feel better, could perform better, could recover better, could have more work and exercise capacity, you can hope things will get better, or you can actually do something about it and take action. I know this is a controversial opinion, but I'm going to say it. I actually think there's a reasonable correlation between intelligence and action. I believe there's a very clear sign of somebody who's going places in life, which we can measure by their decisiveness. Today's the day. This is why I highly encourage you the Triathletic Greens AG1. It's an absolutely fantastic way to fill in nutritional gaps. There's 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Everyone has gaps in their nutrition. You cannot get everything you need for optimal performance just through a healthy diet. You'll get plenty of stuff to survive, but not to thrive. That's the key difference. That's why I take Athletic Greens AG1 every single day. I've been doing now for almost 2 years, 1 scoop once a day, every day. It's that simple. I've never felt better. Not only is AG1 packed with vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, but it also has prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help your body deal with stress. It brings me a great sense of satisfaction seeing how many people have taken Athletic Greens AG1 up on the offer of a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2 by heading to athleticgreens.com/SMR or using the link in the pinned comment. I wouldn't be recommending this stuff if it hadn't profoundly impacted my own life. I really do drink this stuff every single day. The biggest effect I've personally noticed is a massive and sustained increase in energy. And I'm using this energy to work out more, to create more content, to work more, to spend more time with friends and family, and to get more out of life. If it turns out this really is the end of days, you may as well face the final days feeling and performing your best. Here are what some viewers of the channel have to say about their experience with AG1. Day 30 of AG1, and I cannot explain to you how much better I'm feeling. My social anxiety is so much better. I did not expect to help so much, but it has. I feel energized, ready to do things. I've been staying on top of things for the first time in years. If you haven't tried it already, truly try it. I was a skeptic. I did not at all believe it was going to help, and it has, significantly. AG1 is totally amazing. No more ibuprofen, no more leg cramps, much less back pain, feeling better and more energy. This is great, and I'm only 2 weeks into AG1. It really works. Thanks, Stephen. You're welcome. I noticed 3 things with AG1. My chronic heartburn is gone. My digestion is more regular. I have more alertness, and I wake up with a raging heart on every morning. I hope you're putting it to good use, my friend. Just received my 2nd pouch of AG1 and find improvement in short-term memory and not napping during the day as I did pre-AG1. Worth the price. Regarding AG1, okay, so I couldn't ignore all the talk. It's been about 3 months now and I've literally stopped drinking coffee because of it. Not even intentionally, I just don't need it now. Strange. Not that strange, AG1 will meaningfully boost energy, at least in my own experience. That's the biggest benefit I noticed almost immediately. So what are you waiting for? Head to athleticgreens.com/SMR or use the link in the pinned comment. Start your daily health habit now and let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks. Unless, of course, humanity doesn't exist in a few weeks, in which case, nice knowing ya. It's been fun. If for some strange reason you don't get the results you're expecting, there's a 90-day money-back guarantee, so what do you got to lose? And don't forget, last chance to submit your questions for the Tesla exclusive Q&A happening over on Patreon soon. If you're not a member, you can join Patreon with the card in the corner or the link at the pinned comment, and I'll see you over there. Love ya.